Hey, what's up? I'm the Kind Assassin, and today's video is about episode 4 of The Acolyte called Day. So this is a really quick episode, but a really major thing happens at the very end. And I think it's one of the best scenes of the whole show so far, other than the opening scene of the series. So this episode really just deals with May and Kimir trying to get to Kelnacca, and then the Jedis with Osha trying to prevent May from getting there first and killing Kelnacca. So at the beginning of the episode, back on Coruscant at the Jedi Temple, Osha tells the Padawan goodbye. She says she's leaving. It's really up to the Jedi now to capture May.
Someone must find May before she does any more harm, but it's not me.
And the Padawan seems sad and is surprised that she's leaving, but more surprised that Osha is leaving without saying goodbye to Sol.
Did you say goodbye to him? I've caused him enough trouble.
And I thought that was surprising too, but it makes sense because it seems like Osha just wants to go quietly and she doesn't want Sol to try to convince her to stay. And she probably doesn't want to face him and really face her past. So at the same time, the Jedi Council are trying to figure out who trained May, who her master is. They seem confused that May doesn't even know who her master is. And they're just wondering where he trained. Is it a separate Jedi order that's splintered off? So lots of questions, and they're not really sure, where to begin to investigate.
How odd. She turns up all these years later, trained by one of our own. You think a Jedi taught her?
But they do know that they have to go to the planet Kofar to stop May from killing Kelnacca. And they do realize that there's some connection between the deaths of the other Jedi and Kelnacca and Sol being on the home planet of Osha and May and being there when it was all destroyed. They just really don't know what all the pieces are yet.
But May targeted these three.
4, including you, Sol. The 4 Jedi stationed on her home planet when she was a child.
Sol intercepts Osha and is like, hey, you're leaving, like you can't go. And then he convinces her to join them. While this is all happening, May and Kimir end up on Kofar and they're trying to get to Kelnacca. Kimir's been there before and knows where he is, which seems odd that he knows all this. He even says that bounty hunters won't even go onto this planet, so...
I know bounty hunters won't set foot in these forests.
Oh, but you have.
Yes, I have. To find the Wookiee.
It was interesting, confusing, weird that he knows where Kelnacca is and was able to find him so quickly. Well, I don't know if it was quickly, but he was able to find him. So just, curious why has all this knowledge. So the Jedi are on their way to Kofar. We're introduced to a tracker, Basil, and they're going to use him to try to find where Kelnacca is. While May and Kimir are almost there, Kimir goes and gets water or something, and May just kind of has a revelation, it seems like, and she traps Kimir and basically tells him, like, I'm not going to go through with it anymore. She seems to have a change of heart. She's going to surrender to Kelnacca and tell them everything she knows.
What I'm going to do is surrender myself to Kelnacca and then turn myself into the Jedi.
And it's really weird to me that she suddenly had to change her heart, because throughout this show she was so determined and so focused and really angry, it seemed, really wanted revenge, and suddenly she's like, nah, I'm cool. So that seemed odd. Maybe it had something to do with seeing her sister.
Osha being alive changes everything. My loyalty is to Osha, not your master.
Because her sister somehow also, I wouldn't say has a change of heart, but she also just experienced a change because she felt the Force again. She felt the giant bug was alive.
I was able to sense that creature, but I disturbed it, and now it's dead.
And sensed it, even though it ended up dead, which was sad, and she felt bad for it. I think she realized that the Force is still alive within her. So she kind of has this kind of life-changing experience too. There was another scene where it seems like we're going to eventually learn more about what happened on the home planet of May and Osha, because Sol tells Osha, look, just help me capture May, and when she's on board our ship, I'll tell you everything.
Once we get May safely to the ship, might explain everything.
So there's lots of questions from the last episode, even though we saw what happened. We didn't see everything. And so it seems like at some point in the show, we're going to learn exactly what happened. And I'm really curious because what was so tragic, terrible? What did the Jedi do that made Torben decide to just off himself, right? So really can't wait to get the full story. So we're finally to where Kelnacca is, and Basil, the tracker, seems to have kind of gone off on his own, but he actually ends up coming face to face with May, and he starts screaming like, "Oh, she's here!" And then the Jedi are like, "Oh, we didn't lose Basil. There he's screaming. Let's go to where he is. He found May." And May's like, "Oh shoot, I better hurry up." So she runs to Kelnacca's house and she goes inside and she finds him dead. And you can see on his chest, there's like a lightsaber wound. And she says, "Oh, he's here.
He's here."
The master is there and killed Kelnacca. So then the Jedi come and they're like, "Come out, we need to apprehend you."
Anyone inside that domicile should come out with your hands where we can see them.
So then the next scene is pretty cool. Osha's standing there kind of behind the Jedi, and behind her you see a figure kind of slowly come into the frame. And then she slowly turns around and comes face to face with him. And this is kind of the grand reveal. Even though we saw him in the first episode for a split second, we finally see more of him. Like, this is the grand reveal. He's here. And there was a part where, he lit up his lightsaber and, went like that or something. And I thought he like split her in half, but he didn't. It was just like on the side of her. His power was on display here because he just kind of flicked his fingers and pushed Osha with the Force like way like far powerfully. It was like, and then all the Jedi, opened up their lightsabers, and it was that one scene from the trailer. So, okay, here's the battle finally. But the master just like pushes them with the Force and they just go flying back. And that was it. That's the episode. So very fast, not too much happened, but this last scene, I got really excited. I was enjoying it because I just like to see the power of the Force and this new character, right? Really beating the Jedi, and how are they going to stop him? And also I want to learn more about him. So kind of got left hanging, but really anticipating what's going to happen in the next episode. So that was it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.